What is going on, everyone? I am Cameron Jewell, also known as the Liberated Outcast, and this video is an introductory video to what I am calling the Kratom Education Project. I have made a deliberate decision, and I feel very passionately about continuing to speak up for, advocate for, and educate on the kratom plant, the pure leaf. All right. There is a tremendous amount of controversy surrounding this plant, and a lot of it is fueled by misinformation, fear-based narratives, and outright propaganda. As a medical herbalist, a scientist, and someone with lived experience working with kratom, not only do I feel a responsibility to speak up, I also have a solid foundation of education and experience to speak from. So this video is going to focus more on who kratom could offer benefits to and who should avoid kratom. I'm also going to touch on the different strains or veins of kratom and what that means. So just like with all herbs, kratom is not for everyone. All right. Herbs are not neutral. Herbs are not universal. What offers relief, uplift, or support to one person may create discomfort, dysregulation, or even harm for another person. That doesn't make the herb good or bad. It makes it powerful. And kratom is a very powerful plant. Kratom has helped countless people manage chronic pain, reduce or avoid pharmaceuticals, improve the quality of their life, and even regain function and stability in their life. At the same time, it has also contributed to toxic dependency patterns, exasperated anger, anxiety, and irritability, and has caused real distress for some individuals. If we are going to speak honestly about this plant, we have to honor both of these truths. For people abusing kratom, those people that are taking massive doses of the leaves or are consuming these concentrated extracts or these drug-like products that are being made from the plant, the consequences for those people can be far more severe. And this is where much of the harm comes from in regards to kratom. Personally, I do not believe that it is wise to use kratom recreationally. I also feel the same way about alcohol, marijuana, and all other mind-altering substances. With that said, people are going to make their own choices, and many people are capable of using substances like alcohol, marijuana, and kratom responsibly. I am not here to judge people's choices. I am here to educate. In my clinical and lived experience, kratom is best suited for people who are dealing with chronic pain, severe anxiety or depression, CPTSD, and nervous system dysregulation. I also believe kratom is less harmful than stimulant medications like Adderall for people who are dealing with attention-related disorders. Adderall is a drug with well-documented consequences to the brain and to the nervous system, regardless of the dose. So who should avoid kratom? It's important to remember that kratom is a very hot and drying herb, and kratom can work the liver harder than many other plants. Anyone with known liver disease should avoid it completely. Also, anyone with a seizure disorder or increased risk of seizure should also avoid kratom. People who are prone to anger, rage, or volatility should avoid it as well because kratom can amplify those states. Also, people who are actively seeking another substance to abuse should avoid it. And I want to repeat that. If you are just looking to get high, to numb out, please avoid kratom. And with that being said, people with a history of substance abuse who are truly committed to liberation, people who are willing to do all of the work required for liberation, including nutrition, hydration, moving your body, seeking counseling, putting yourself out there to create and surround yourself with a supportive community, finding creative outlets and creating habits that help to regulate your nervous system, people like that might find that Kratom is a supportive tool. Again, it is not a solution, but when worked with intentionally and with integrity, Kratom can offer a lot of support to many people. In the description of this video, I will include the video that I made about the impact that Kratom has played on my life. So now let's talk about understanding the strains or the vein colors of Kratom, because that can get kind of confusing for some people. And I want to make it clear that all Kratom comes from the same plant. And I have a bit of a speech impediment, so I usually butcher it when I attempt to pronounce it. So here it is on the screen for you. And you will hear most commonly discussed categories or veins of Kratom include red vein, green vein, and white veins. But the truth is, well, there's a couple of truths here. One, the region that the plant was grown in is very important, and the harvesting and processing of the plant is also very important. So the vein color has a lot to do with the alkaloid ratios, the maturity of the leaf, the drying and processing methods, and again, the region that it was grown in. You can get a red strain from one company and it will be a lot different than a red strain from another company because of where it was grown and how it was processed and how those people choose to market their Kratom. So let's talk a little bit about this, right? The red vein. Red veins are often associated with relaxation, pain relief, nervous system calming, and sleep support. And a lot of the reasons, some of the reasons why it is able to support in this way is because the red veins can have a higher level of 7-hydroxymetrogenine and more oxidized alkaloids from longer drying. Red veins are often chosen by people who are managing chronic pain, have severe anxiety, are going through withdrawals from other substances like pharmaceutical opiates, or to just take the edge off in the evening and wind down. Green veins are often associated with feeling more of a sense of balance within yourself, a calm feeling of focus, supporting your mood, and just daytime function. This is often because it has a more balanced alkaloid profile and it's moderately stimulating without being too sedating. White veins are often associated with energy, alertness, motivation, and focus. White veins have a higher White veins usually have a higher metrogenine content, and the leaves are harvested when they are younger and the drying process is faster. So like with red veins, the leaves are allowed to mature longer on the plant and the drying process is slower, more drawn out. And that does affect the alkaloids in the plant, how they are broken down and how they are processed in your body. White veins are usually chosen by people who are managing fatigue or want to replace caffeine. But something very important to remember, regardless of what strain you are choosing to work with, the dosage matters more than the strain. A small dose of any vein is going to be more stimulating, and a large dose of any vein is going to be more sedating. This video, I want to let you know I'm not here to convince anybody to use Kratom or not to use Kratom. I'm here to talk about it, to educate on this plant. I will say, if you haven't ever used Kratom, you don't really feel a need to, don't. And at the same time, I want to encourage everybody to remember that you are responsible for your own choices. If you do decide to use Kratom and then you choose to abuse it and allow it to control you, that's your choice. Okay? And same for the people who choose to use Kratom responsibly and with integrity to help them to regain control of their own lives and create something for themselves. That's also your choice. All right? So please leave some comments. I'm here whether you've had great experiences with Kratom or bad experiences with Kratom. I want to hear it all. What I will not tolerate is name calling, accusations, and hostility from anybody, whether you love Kratom or you don't. That's not the space that we're creating here. Let me know if you have any questions. What else would you like to know about Kratom? Maybe what did I leave out that could have been mentioned in this video that I can add into the next video? Again, this is my introduction to the Kratom Education Project. I have never made money off of Kratom. I'm not making money off of these videos, and I'm not in this to make money. This is part of my service. I feel very passionately about helping to clear the blurry lines. All right, I'm very passionate about bringing some clarity and awareness and true education to this very misunderstood plant that has the potential to help a lot of people. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for contributing. I see you and I feel you because I am you and I love you.